Mr. Good is very good. He always makes his bed, he always cleans his teeth, and he always wipes his feet. He never slammed doors, he never forgot birthdays, and he never ever tell lies. Mr. Good is very good. However, Mr. Good lives in a place called Badland, a place where nobody is like Mr. Good, a place where people do slam doors, and they slam them in your face. In Badland, the puddles are much deeper than they look. In Badland, a dog's bite is the worst than its bark. In Badland, even the trees are bad. One day it was wet and windy. Well, of course it was. The weather, it's always bad in Badland. Mr. Good was walking along, minding his own business, when the hat of the man in the front blew off. Mr. Good leaped in the air and catch it for him. The man turned around and glared at Mr. Good. "What do you think you're doing? Give my hat back." Poor Mr. Good. This sort of the thing was always happened to him. You see, the very idea of doing a good deed in Badland was preposterous, unthinkable, and mad. If Mr. Good offered to help carrying shopping, he was accused of stealing. If he kindly held a door open for someone, then he wouldn't be kicked in the shin.
Ouch!
Not surprisingly, Mr. Good was not very happy. In fact, he was miserable. So he decided to go for a long walk to think about things. He walked for a very long time. He was so deep in thought that he did not notice how far he had gone. And he was so deep in thought that he accidentally walked slap bang into somebody. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's quite alright. Quite alright. That's quite alright. In the whole of his life, no one had ever said that's quite alright to Mr. Good. Then Mr. Good noticed that the sun was shining, which was strange because the sun never shone in Badland. Further on, Mr. Good found a dustbin on his side. Without thinking, he tied it up. All the rubbish. "Thank you," Mr. Good stared at her. In the whole of his life, no one have ever said thank you to him. "Could you tell me where I am?" he asked. "You're in Goodland." "Oh, thank you." "My pleasure." Mr. Good beamed. And I'm sure you have guessed that Mr. Good now lives in Goodland, and Mr. Good is happy, very, very happy, doing good deeds all day long. The only thing Mr. Good still does not trust are puddles. Once you have stepped in a Badland puddle, you never forget.